All right, what is up, everybody? This is Keith Jameson. Go by Get a Guy 231 on Sorare, here for another episode of Sorare Stateside. Today, we're going to go over 5 midfield targets that I have in the MLS that I think are underpriced for their upside and what they can do for your teams. Now, if you remember my video from about a month ago, we were building, a MLS-based team for the All-Star under $500. I hope you bought back then because prices have gone up in the MLS. Some people think they're a little too high. I think these guys will prove it that if you do your research, you can definitely still make a very, very value-centric MLS team that has upside, that can win cards as well. So next few days, we're going to be going over all positions. We're going to start today with midfield. I think that's the position that can give you the most upside and bang for your buck. If I was a new user right now and I'm trying to build an America side, I'd be using 2 midfielders. So I'd be doing, obviously a goalie. If you can't afford a rare goalie, common goalie, defender, 2 midfielders, so potentially 2 of these guys. And then unfortunately forwards, we're going to be going over probably either tomorrow or Friday, but they're going to cost you a little bit. So quick reminder, like, subscribe, and comment to this channel. We'll just love the support. And then if you are brand new to Sorare, you want some help, make sure you DM me at GatorGuy231. Also use my code. Once you win 5 auctions, you get a free limited card, and I do as well. So let's work together to grow your gallery and grow the game. All right, let's get into the players. So some of these players, just as like a PSA, some of these players I will own, some of them I will not. And in reality is I've considered some of them. I'm very, very fortunate that my gallery keeps growing, where some of these guys just, despite me liking them, would not get over other guys in my gallery, like Lucas Zelarayan, Gaston Jimenez, Mataka, I have his super rare. Pedro Santos, I have his super rare. I'm just very fortunate that I've started and spent a lot of times building my gallery up. But, my passion, and a big reason I'm doing these videos, I still love the value game. I love the trading aspect, buying low on a guy, selling high. That's how my gallery went from less than a 2 ETH deposit to where I'm at right now, which is close to 12 ETH. All right, Pedro Santos. Let's talk about Santos, former designated player for Columbus. He's going to play left back. Last year, Valenzuela is gone. Last year, during the left back's time, was right around here, and he was just absolutely crushing. His all-around goes up. He's involved in a lot more tackles, a lot more duels, and he's still getting attack-minded crosses into the box. A big part of Pedro Santos, which I love, and I think that is not priced in. Floor right now, as of this morning, it is February 16th. Floor is 7.71. I bet you can get him in those high 0.06s. But Pedro Santos 6 PKs. For the longest time it was Zardes. Maybe people think it would be Zelarayan. No, Santos has been their PK taker. I do not see a reason that he would not all of a sudden take them. So you're talking about a guy with an all-around that can get you in the 50s. Look at his L40 is at 51, L15, 50, L5, 55. Gets you decisive upside with the PKs, has assist upside, and he's going to start almost every game that he's fit. When we get some fixture congestions in there, he isn't the youngest guy, 33, but at the price I just think you cannot miss. Gaston Jimenez, I'm a little bit, just the slightest bit less down on Gaston Jimenez after the Shaqiri signing. I was huge on Gaston Jimenez before the Shaqiri signing. Designated player for Chicago was going to take all of their sets, or at least half. But I think he maybe had a monopoly. Plays a defensive midfield, which is really good for the scoring matrix. I remember PSU fans talking about it 6 months ago or so, but guys like João Paulo, Jack Price, those are the 2 that came to mind right away. There's a few others, but I'm just blanking on it. Not enough coffee this morning. But those type of guys that take sets, that play defensive. So you get all these defensive peripherals, and then you get the set upside. So you get chance at decisives, off assists on corners, and you get a ton of floor with all the defensive work. Gaston Jimenez is that guy. Was reading a local Chicago paper about camp. If you recall, Gaston Jimenez, a lot of people thought was gone. They were shocked when Chicago re-upped him as one of their designated players. Now Chicago's brought in reinforcements. We've seen Shaqiri come in. We've seen Casper Przewko. There's rumors that Jairo Torres from MX is coming in, or another attacker. Like, Chicago is all of a sudden starting to load the cannons a bit. Gaston Jimenez, if we look back to a few years ago, was an absolute baller. Like, look at those scores. He struggled last year, was in and out of the team, new coaching staff, front office re-upped him. He's fully committed to the team. Supposedly looks awesome in camp. I think he's an absolute steal under 0.06. Going to another designated player, Edison Flores of Washington, I think is a really, really nice buy low. He is going to have a lot less floor than either Gaston Jimenez or Pedro Santos does. But Edison Flores is an international player. He's a designated player for Washington who is also looking to make some splashes. We know that they are bringing in I'm not going to trace his name. I just call him Taxi from the Austrian Bundesliga. Edison Flores was injured a lot last season and was a huge miss for them. When healthy, we've seen him crush for club and country. And, you know, he's a DP for a reason, okay? So we're under 0.1. He's a very attack-minded player. Again, you're going to struggle a little bit with some floor. Don't be scared by these DMPs. He was injured. If he's healthy, you know, you're looking at a guy that has really good decisive upside, should be a locked-in starter. So getting you in the 40s with upside for decisives. A guy I actually watched last night in the Champions League, and the role he's taking on could really shoot up his scores, is Victor Wanyama, former Tottenham Hotspur Premier League legend. I won't go as far as saying legend, but anybody that would play in the Premier League and that comes to MLS, we can sort of call a legend, because that is, you know, definitely a class up. Sorry if you can hear my little man in the background, is what it is. But he plays very deep. Wanyama was a lot of times going back and almost playing like a back three, like a very deep lying six, moving the ball around. You know, his passing was outstanding last night versus Santos. And I think that the scoring, you know, if he's healthy with this new system, with him getting a lot of defensive responsibilities and truly going box to box, could really take off. He got 63, and that was with 27 all around last night. You know, you're talking about a guy that could bang in 50s to 60s over and over again for around 0.06. So I love it. Final player, I was really surprised to see his price when researching, is Randall Leal. Very talented player. Nashville is going to got a really bad draw in terms of, I think it's a country music festival going on. And, you know, Leal's I think it's about 10 games on the road. So I'm a little bit down on Nashville to start the season. I think, you know, guys like I sold Hani Mukhtar, you know, reinvested his funds into a goalie. I know a lot of people are super excited about Joe Willis, Walker Zimmerman. I think there's a really good shot that you could kind of do an arbitrage right now where you want those players, but you buy late. You buy after a tougher start to the season when maybe people are a little bit down. But Randall Leal has a ton of talent. I want to actually go to his price graph, because if you look about a year ago when the season started, Randall Leal, make sure I get to the rares, was hovering in this 0.25 range. You know, went all the way up to 0.4, poor guy. And he's seen a significant downfall here. Still a super talented player. He is younger. He's the youngest guy in this list at 25. Does not give you a ton of floor, but big decisive upside. I think Leal is the type of guy that you can put in your lineup and really try to shoot for the top with him. Again, we're talking about being on a budget, so getting guys that have big time decisive upside is really huge. So a guy like, you compare like a Santos and Leal together, and while it doesn't have the single greatest floor ever, you have really good decisive upside, especially if you play the matchup game. All right, that'll do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you did, like, subscribe, comment, and then feel free to ask questions. I'm always monitoring the comments. Reach out to me on Discord at GatorGuy231 or Twitter as well. With that, I'll say, see you.